folks, and welcome to my isometric experiment inside of Adobe Illustrator. I've been playing around lately with using the 3D features in Adobe Illustrator to create these really clean isometric illustrations. So let's get into it. I've got a couple of pre-made objects. Now these are just rectangles with a series of dots on them of different colors. Okay, whoops, let's grab this one over here so you can see. Alright, so I'm going to start with the green. Let me pull that out here. I'm going to move these dots down here for the moment. And the effect I'm mainly going to be using is located under the 3D portion of the effects menu here. It's going to be extrude and bevel. And if you ever used this effect before, it basically takes your 2D artwork and extrudes it out on a particular angle. And you can rotate it with the cube. And it will take that flat rectangle and turn it into a 3D box. And what I want to do is I'm not going to mess with the angles by hand. I'm going to go into the preset menu and I'm going to do isometric top. And that's going to give me something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the extrusion down to maybe even less than 10 points, maybe 5 points. And if I want, I can mess with the shading a little bit by going under more options. I can change the lighting on it a tad. And believe it or not, I actually think I'm going to kind of keep it perhaps, maybe like something, maybe something like that for now. Okay, and what that has done, if I zoom in here, you can see it's taking that rectangle, it's putting it on an isometric top sort of perspective there. And it's extruded this plane just a little bit to give it a little hint of depth. Now I'm going to take the dot, it's going to be the exact same thing. 3D, extrude and bevel, isometric top, and this I'm going to make, I think, 10 points, about twice the thickness of the plane. There we go. And I'm going to drag those right about there, just let them snap back into position. Starting to look familiar maybe? Bring back memories of your childhood or adulthood for that matter. Okay, so not too bad. So let's try it with the yellow brick. Let me just separate this. Effect, 3D, extrude and bevel, and again isometric top. And this was 10. Oh, I'm sorry, no, this is actually 5. So this brick I want to actually be thicker. 5, so I think I'm gonna do like 20. No, even a little more than that, maybe 40, maybe double it up. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And I'll drag that into position, like right about there. Let that sort of snap into place. Okay, whoops, let's nudge that a little bit. There we go. And then let's do the dots, extrude and bevel, isometric top. And then these these were 10, correct? Yeah, I set those to 10. Now let's drag those in, let those go into place. Actually, no, it wasn't 10, maybe it was 5. So let me re-edit this effect by going over to my properties here, under the effects, 3D extrude and bevel. Hit OK. There we go. Okay, so I can zoom in, and that is looking pretty good. So I can take the brick and the dots here, let's group that together. There we go. And I can position it wherever I like. Sort of snap it over here, make a copy of it, put another version, say like right, I'll put it like back here, just have some variety. Looking pretty good so far. Let's grab the white one here. Effect, 3D, extrude and bevel. I feel like I'm going into this effect quite a bit. I think I'm going to grab both of these. Effect, 3D, extrude and bevel. Let's do isometric top, and the depth I'm going to put on this one, I'm going to do like 25. I'm going to make it half the height of the yellow one. Alright, so the dots are a little thick, so I'm going to click just on those and simply change this to 5. It's a little faster because I didn't have to go through all the settings, so it was a little bit quicker doing them at the same time. Let's group those together. I've got another brick I can put like right here. Now let's say I want this piece to rotate and sort of face, I want to rotate it 90 degrees. I can't necessarily just grab it and rotate it, but what I can, well, I can kind of grab it and rotate it, but it's not going to quite give me the results I want. So I'm going to pull it aside here. I want to make sure I'm rotating the circles and the square individually. So I'm going to double click, go into isolation mode, grab the circles. I'll hold my shift key, rotate them 90 degrees, and then I'll grab the actual rectangle, rotate that 90 degrees, and that will give me a nice clean 90 degree rotation of both those elements. So let's escape out of that, out of isolation mode, and there we go. And I only had to go into isolation mode because these items were grouped together. So that is not too shabby. That's looking pretty decent. But I think I can stylize it even more. So let me zoom out a little bit. Let me grab all of this content. I'm going to make a copy of it down here. So that doesn't look too bad. But let's see if I can push it a little further. So all this stuff, let's get all this grouped together. So I have all the green stuff on its own. Great. All the white, all the yellow. Perfect. Okay. I want to make it look a little more like a technical illustration. This isn't too bad, but I think I can make it read a little more. I'm going to highlight all this. Now this is going to be a little destructive, so I only want to do this at the end of my layout here, at the end of my design. I'm going to go ahead and expand appearance on everything. That's going to break it all up into individual artwork. And I'm going to go ahead, I want to put a black stroke on it. And let's put a little weight on that stroke. Here we go. Let's do like, let's do a 1-point stroke. And you can see, now that it's all been expanded, it will stroke around the outside of the objects, each shape. That actually looks kind of neat. It's a little heavy. So let's bring it down to like 0.25. That's kind of nice. Look at that. Nice little hairline stroke. That is not too bad. That's not too bad looking. All right, I think I can polish it up just a little bit more. Let me take the original. I'm just going to put it off on the pasteboard. Let's bring this up. Let's make another copy, and let's see what happens here. Not too bad. The circles, the dots rather, because they're round, have extra kind of geometry going on. So you kind of get these extra lines happening when you put the stroke on it. And I'm wondering if I ungroup all this, if I can get just the dots and expand them one more time, it will get rid of the redundant geometry. Yeah, look at that. And you don't get all those lines coming down the side. It just simplifies the geometry a little more. So let me just grab the dots and go under Object. Let's expand those. Nice. I'll just go. They're grouped, so I'm going into isolation mode here to just grab those. Let's expand these guys. There it is. Get out of isolation mode. Let's zoom out. Let's take a closer look here. So here's the first version with some lines. Well, I should say with those extra lines on the side. And then here's kind of like a little cleaner rendition. And let's just kind of zoom out there. There they are. So we had a version that was just shaded. And then we get shading with some line art, which I think is kind of cool looking, but maybe is too overdone. This one at the bottom here has simplified line art. So anyways, that's just a little experiment on trying to do some isometric illustrations reasonably easily inside of Adobe Illustrator. So I'd be curious to see what you think about it. I have a couple other ideas I want to further experiment with, so there'll probably be a series of videos following this concept. If you have any other ideas on how to do ISO illustrations in Illustrator, I'd love to hear from you. And if you use this technique to build anything, I'd love to see it. So feel free to comment below. And as always, thank you for watching.